And did you start having second thoughts, Boone, in terms of like, I need to step off this project? Like, what gave you the confidence early on to say, you know what, these kids can do this, they can pull it off, I'm going to stick with it?
I saw they showed me footage, and they did a lot of work on the look of the movie, and the look is obviously gorgeous and really beautiful, and I get into arguments with directors all the time, so it's not really, it was no different with Kenton. So.
and he said that you hadn't seen.
I haven't seen the movie at all. No.
How do you feel? See it for the.
Well, Taylor and Danny are fantastic. I mean, just everybody was just really good. It's a really damn fine film, I think,
Thank you. Cool. the core, like the script that I thought that we were going to have. But then of that, like I said, first time director, a lot of scenes didn't work out. So then when you cut those out, then the plot just was like Swiss cheese. Like you can see it, but it's not full. And then we had to do some reshoots, so it was kind of like rethinking things and trying to compress. Like we had a scene and say it didn't work, but we really needed that scene. It would like be rewriting it. So the rewriting kind of continued all the way through to the end of like second unit. So like 2 years total, ish.
Is it Hadley or no?
Hadley, yeah.
Hadley. So Hadley, how did this get in front of you, and can you tell us about that?
Friend of a friend, I guess. I knew Kenton through friend Elena, who played the blonde girl with pigtails, and she just somehow got me connected with him. I was just a little hostess in Alabama, and somehow I wound up here, so that's awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sure, okay, thank you.
And for our sound guy?
Yep.
So you're part of the three-person team?
Nope. I did post-production.
Oh, I'm sorry, you did post-production?
Yep.
Impressive.
Yeah, Kurt is the whole post-production team. Like Kurt,
sounds
really like so much work.
really good job.
Yeah, terrific job. Terrific job. And so, are you working with the composers? Can you tell us a little bit about your process behind the scenes?
Sure. I got connected with Kenton through a friend of mine, James Lunsford. He was one of the nicest guys that I've ever known, and he got me connected with this project through. So you guys met on like a film forum website, Craigslist, and film forum, and so basically we had worked out this entire process of working over the internet, breaking up the film into something like 12 pieces, about 12 pieces, and doing chunk by chunk and sending it back over for reviews and notes and such. And then Kenton ended up coming over to my place, drove up from, drove to my house in Tennessee and stayed with us for 2 weeks. And slept on our couch and everything. And we mixed the thing in my living room, and that was pretty much it. That was pretty much it. And I had two assistant editors, Ralph Guzman and Augie Restivo. Both, one was in Mexico, another was in at the time I think Florida, and managed them over FTP on the internet as well. And then just kind of formed it after that.
Moments where he seems truly disturbing, and there are moments, and there are other moments where he seems like the nicest guy in the world.
We talked a lot about that, actually. Kenton really wanted me to be a nice guy. Just because somebody isn't functioning like exactly properly doesn't mean they wouldn't be nice. So that was an element that we talked about a lot, because and tried to make happen in some of the in some of the scenes, but, you know, and then so we just did, he had an example of someone he, you know, kind of knew like this, who was a nice guy, and you know, and then was a complete, you know, lunatic on when you know, other times. And I think that's probably possibly very accurate with a number of people who are in that kind of situation. So that's just, we played on that. Yeah. I mean, there's certain things that I see that, you know, I don't really think a lot about certain things. I mean, I try and more inhabit a character rather than think it through that much. But I find that looking, there are certain things that I was doing that I had no idea that, you know, the walk, there's certain things about his walk that I just didn't, you know, there's sort of something very specific that was going on that I really, that just is part of what happened with that guy. And that sort of related to the missing piece somehow, it feels like, you know.
Pieces of paper and write things down all the time. Just take stuff from my own life or whatever. So then when you write, there was the gimmick, but then like a lot of the dialogue and stuff comes from either your subconscious or notes that I've written, things from my life or whatever. So it was like taking the gimmick, that's the outline, and then you fill it in with like normal stuff. Was the approach kind of.
I had a question about the paintings and the origins of each of the imagery that you put in. Did you start off with that and then recreate it on film as it is in the movie, or did you kind of see what you had available on set and then make the paintings based on that?
That was a really complicated problem to figure out because we didn't have a location scout, and we were like trying to find awesome, cool locations and then get all these people to paint these paintings in their free time. And so it was guessing. Like I did location scouting through like books at the library and then Google Earth. And then I was like, okay, guys, this is kind of the texture we want to go for, or something. And so then two of my friends from home, one of them was an awesome artist who I knew from the movie theater. She just had these sketches all the time. And I was like, can you do this? So she made all the small paintings. And then my other friend from high school who I'd seen his drawings, he did the big murals. He spent like a week at our house making the murals. Yeah, so it was kind of tricky. It was like also, because I guess we had the paintings first before we ever went to the locations. So we kind of had to like, I don't know. But then, like I said, there's plot holes. So when he opens the little curtain things, you know, on the big ones, those were an afterthought. Like we were like, uh-oh, the story is not clear enough. Like we need to add something in. So like the poison thing was to hone in like the poison aspect or the whatever. And the other one, originally he had painted a car exploding and on the painting, but then when we went to the landfill to location scout, there was a boat on top of this like landfill. And the guy who took me around, the landfill manager's name is Tadpole. And so I'm driving around with Tadpole, and there's this boat in the middle of nowhere, and I'm like, Tadpole, can we blow this up? And he's like, I'll have to ask Boss Man about it, but I think that wouldn't be a problem. So, you know, there we had a boat to blow up, and didn't have to get a car, so then we just painted the boat and stuck it on. And then also to further, like, the words on top of the small paintings were an afterthought too, because I thought that if we just threw all those words on there, maybe when you're watching it, you're like, okay, they thought this through or something. So